All right. I think we're ready to record and go to the Facebook Live.
How long is this, by the way?
3 hours. Is that okay?
Oh, perfect. Okay. Man, anything less than 2, I'd be like...
Yeah. You'd cross the street for less than 2.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to start the Facebook Live. We're going to start the recording. It is Car Con Carne. I'm on Morgan, right by 31st, outside of Kimski in Bridgeport. That's Chef Juan. And in the back seat, I have Mike Gebert, the editor of Fooditor. We're going to talk about the Fooditor 2019 compendium that is newly out, but we're also going to eat Kimski food. We've got it just decked out on my dashboard. But before we do any of this, there's Fooditor 99 right there. Before we do any of that, I should mention Car Con Carne is presented by the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. If you're watching this on Facebook Live this Saturday at the Autobarn Mazda in Evanston, a live recording of Car Con Carne. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to be inside a 2019 CX-5 in the showroom.
That's
on
awesome.
The floor.
That's so awesome.
We have 2 live performances happening that day. Hi-Ho, which is Jillian McGee of the Chicago band Turnspit, will be performing live. Also the band Outrageous. A handful of members of that band will be bringing instruments into a CX-5, performing live as we record the podcast. Come out and hang out. It's open to all. That is Saturday at Autobarn Mazda of Evanston, and the CX-5 has the iActive all-wheel drive. It's standard for all the 2019 CX-5s. So is Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. There we are. Let's eat some food.
Let's do it.
Okay.
It's Car Con Carne. Let's eat in the car. It's Car Con Carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
What do you want to start with?
Everything. Well, okay, so Mike back there is the editor of Fooditor, and one of the restaurants that is included in the Fooditor 99 is Kimski, and he describes the restaurant as a counter-service Korean-Polish street food joint helmed by you.
That's me.
Chef Juan Kim. Kimski is a modernist beer hall combining craft brews, including their own Mars beers. They have a tap room not far. Where is the tap room?
The Mars tap room?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a mile and a half south and a little west.
Okay. With hearty Kopo fare. Did you make up Kopo? Is that really a thing?
Ed and I did, yeah.
Okay.
So my business partner, Ed, who also runs a tap room, and the gallery down the street, Co-Prosperity Sphere, which is literally down the street, he came out with it. We're kind of like tired of saying Korean, Polish, Korean, Polish, Korean, Polish. We're just like, what are the first 2 letters of each culture? Ko and Po. Let's just go with that. It's way easier.
Again, I'm adjusting the phone here.
You don't even have
I want to make sure I get you in there. Let's see. Hearty Kopo fare. It's the kind of unpretentious, cross-cultural good time with a beer and an egg on it that you can only have in Chicago. I believe that's true. When I was explaining Kimski to friends today, saying I was going there, this is so Chicago. Only in Chicago could this exist. If I were to go to Oklahoma City and look for this, I wouldn't find it.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust it either. If you found it in Oklahoma City, that would be the last place I would trust anybody to make Korean or Polish food or the hybrid thereof.
So let's talk about the hybrid. I would say unprecedented, the Korean-Polish. Where does that come from? Is it your upbringing?
No, absolutely not. My upbringing is 100% Korean. It's actually Ed and Mike, the sons of Maria, who's actually working.
I saw her.
And still working. Yeah, she's still checking IDs and giving us life lessons as she sells the cigarettes. And she is the matriarch of the whole operation. And her sons are Korean and Polish. And they used to run a industry Monday night thing where they would just have like shitty Polish sausages, packaged Polish sausages, jarred kimchi with some mustard. And if you bought like a PBR, you get like a Polish sausage with some stinky fucking cabbage on it, and that was like a thing, And I would come down and I would partake in the Monday evenings and have a good time, and it just kind of took off from there. Other chefs would offer, making their own kraut or making their own cabbage, making their own kimchi, making their own mustard, making their own sausage even. I kind of came through and said, well, I hate seeing freeloaders, and I want to just control how people take free shit, and did like a fake plate up of a Polish, like a Soigné Polish sausage plate, and they kind of had an idea, and they already had the expansion planned, and they just kind of asked me several times. I said no many times. And then in a moment of weakness, a.k.a. when I was probably pretty wasted, as I typically used to do there, I said yes, and here we are.
No, you're not wasted now.
No. absolutely
Although
not.
there was a pre-podcast shot.
Yeah, there was a pre-podcast shot, but that was more for seeing friends shot out of a small ramekin that's measured exactly 1.5 ounces.
Right.
So if it's regulated, I can definitely make sure that, I'm on the up and up.
If it's regulated.
Yeah.
I do
Only
want
if
to say
it's
hi to
regulated.
Chef Ben Randall, who's watching. Thank you, Chef.
What up,
for
Ben?
watching. A little chef solidarity there, one chef to another.
Nice.
Watching you.
I like how it's together.
Hi, Ben.
Like, it's a Chef Ben. There's no separation of Chef or Ben. Sorry.
I interviewed Ben at the Reader.
Oh, did you really?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's a really good dude and a talented dude, too.
That's awesome.
So walking into this place, Kimski, from the street, you'd never guess what was happening in there.
Some people think it's like an art gallery.
You would never guess. I mean,
It looks like a fucking skateboard ramp to me. When I saw the design, I just didn't know what to expect. We wanted something cool and something modernist, but we still want to be of the community. But Ed's pretty artsy dude. He's the idea guy. It's a great family dynamic between him and his brother, because his brother is so like, let's just get it done, Ed. Like, why do you need these kind of things or that kind of thing? And it's like, because it'll be different from other things, and the artist mind, the creative mind, it just kind of goes off and does its own thing. But then it takes someone with logistical skills to be like, well, how the fuck are you gonna put 1,000 panels of bleached wood onto this thing and expose it to the elements? So what we have now is I didn't even want the name on the door, honestly. Everything was
wait, is the name on the door? I don't
yeah,
think okay.
we decided to put that in like a month later when people were just, they were like birds, with like a clear window. They were just running their heads into the fucking windows. We're like, okay, we got to put something.
Yeah.
We got a
signage,
Sparrow special
Yeah.
tonight, guys.
All right, so Chef Ben Randall, who we acknowledged, mentioned something that I wanted to mention. These new Kimski shirts.
Oh, no,
Can
this
you
is-
lean into the camera
Yeah,
somehow?
so this is not a Kimski shirt by any means, because we wouldn't promote swear words. But this is, I made this shirt randomly after, there's been a lot of, terrible Yelp reviews and people kind of taking that platform and thinking they have control over small businesses. And, my threshold, I'm used to bad reviews. I don't give a shit about Yelp. But when people fabricate stories to the point where there's other witnesses that say that shit didn't happen, and they still put it out there for the world to read, it really angers me and aggravates me.
Sure.
So this happened with Cafe Mary Jean with Chef Mike Simmons, and he was looking out for one of his employees, a female employee, and basically the short story is that someone made an inappropriate comment, and he just asked him kindly to leave, and he put up a big stink, but he turned it around and made it seem like the chef was crazy. And I know Mike personally, and I know he wouldn't do that. He's going through some personal stuff, so I know he wouldn't do anything, to that degree that this Yelp reviewer said. And I also follow this guy, Brad Bolt, who owns Neon Wilderness and a couple other bars. And his Yelp retorts are just fantastic. It's like, I just want to eat more of it. So those things combined recently, I just kind of felt compelled to write fuck Yelp and you suck too, because it's not credible to me. You know what I mean? There's guys like Michael in the back seat here who should be in the front, honestly. My bad.
I like having a tiny little head on Facebook.
I like your lean too. It's fucking sexy.
No, Mike's been sitting shotgun for the past
Yeah.
2 years, so
Yeah, I just Rosa parked him. But
wow.
I just kind of
Wow.
sorry.
Let my people go.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with the shot. This is me normal. So, so I just kind of felt compelled to just make these shirts real quick for my industry friends and just be like, you know what? We can fight back too, and we can go against this tyrannical fucking website that's been profitable for years.
Yeah.
They just recently put out a report that said they're going to shutter soon, which is fantastic.
I didn't read that.
Yeah, it's going to happen soon. Their stocks plummeted because there's too many elites. They're literally going to businesses. They've tried to threaten me, and with their elite status, and say shit like, we're influencers and we have this X amount of power. I'm like, bitch, you work in a fucking cubicle or you work at or you live in your mom's basement. You are fucking nobody to me. I don't give a shit. I don't get to go to your job and critique your 20 minutes of performance in the office when you're trying to cut yourself. You know what I mean? Like that. If I don't get to do that, it's not fair that you get to do that to me.
And this just speaks to a universal truth. Never read the comments.
Right.
Absolutely. But they are fun sometimes to troll, but sometimes it gets overwhelming, you know?
I learned this lesson years ago working in radio, doing nights at Q101. I would get these horrible, just awful emails telling me all the unspeakable things I should do to my mother and just terrible, like, death threats and stuff. And I would go home and I'd be...
Ben. Sorry.
I would go home agitated and just worked up and shit, I got to respond to that. And then when I realized that I could just let it go and not respond, it was the most liberating feeling in the world. Like,
I used to be like that. I have moments of that. I honestly do. 90% of the time I do. But some people need to be called out. They shouldn't be able to say whatever the fuck they want with no like retraction or no kind of like ownership to that comment, because all they do is shrivel when you call them out. I'm like, you were so bold and brave before. Why is it that when someone calls you out, you all of a sudden retract and say that it's our fault? And it's like it's our responsibility to just listen. I'm like, no, go fuck yourself.
and there's the headline for this week's episode.
Right. GFY.
What's interesting with Yelp for me, everybody says, "Oh, you must hate Yelp because they're all stupid." It's like, well, they are all stupid. There's no question of that. But I use it to look for information sometimes, and particularly Chinatown. It's great for Chinatown because you get actual Chinese Americans going on there and talking about it. There'll be 18 reviews that say, "Well, I eat at P.F. Chang a lot, so I really know my Chinese food." But, there will be people who actually say, oh, yeah, you can get the Lao Mao Ching Pao, whatever, the way Mom used to make it when we lived in Hong Kong. Then I know something to actually go order there, and I'm not just ordering, pot stickers.
I'm literally just really calling out, like, the guys that are like, they start their reviews with, like, it was raining, and, like, I really felt the clouds, and there was, like, an energy out there. I'm like, no, there fucking wasn't. It was Tuesday, you came in at 4:42, and I told you to get the fuck out because we're closed, and you're stupid as fuck for not reading a sign or Googling this shit. You're a fucking adult. There's no way you couldn't see that we were closed. There's 4 closed signs, and the door's closed. Why would you, come on,
I know.
That's what I'm complaining against. Sorry.
I'm kind of stressed out sitting next to you tonight.
Don't be stressed out. No, I want you to feel comfortable.
I'm a little...
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank God the camera's not way down,
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? Yeah.
Epic Deli says, hey, guys, Epic Deli... if you look on a map, they are geographically on the other side of the planet from where we are right now in Bridgeport.
Nice. So Rogers Park?
Keep going. One of my favorite places on earth, Epic Deli.
Wakanda or something?
I'm assuming that is Tyler Wildey, proprietor.
Where are they, really?
McHenry.
McHenry, yeah.
Oh, that is not
So go
close.
north and keep going.
Yeah.
Hit the tri-state. Keep going. Past Libertyville. Keep going.
Yeah. Wisconsin border.
More or less.
Yeah, hour 15 minutes away from here.
Yeah, at this time of day.
These are parts of the world that I haven't been to since my kids grew out of whatever museum is near there. Those days
There's a train museum up there.
We know the train museum well. We saw Thomas at the train museum many times.
The Volo Auto Museum is out there.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Which is a delight. They've got a classic drive-in theater.
Wow.
Can't find those in many places anymore. I digress. Let's talk about the food, because we've got food sitting on the dashboard. We'll talk more about the restaurant. We'll talk a lot about the Fooditor 99 for 2019. But it would be a crime and a sin to let this food just get cool as we're talking here.
No, it's all good. These biodegradable things that we overpay for, they keep this shit hot.
Okay.
It's so expensive.
So, all right, Chef Juan, you are our guide.
Yeah, so let's go through this buffet. So we have here the Maria Standard. This is our modern interpretation of what started the whole story, the whole dialogue with Korean Polish. Your classic kielbasa style Polish sausage. It's our recipe, but Makowski down the street makes it for us. The Queen sausage of Chicago, the new Abe Froman. So we make our own kraut. It's our own recipe that Co-op makes up north for us. We went through a lot of koji starter, went through a lot of red cabbage, went through a lot of recipe tasting, and we decided to come. This is our final kraut. The bun is from Spoken Bird in Pilsen. We make our own soju mustard.
Wow.
Steep the seeds in some soju, cook it down.
And what is soju?
Soju is basically Korean's vodka.
Okay.
It's like a spirit. It's a distilled spirit, usually made with sweet potatoes or rice.
Okay, this sounds delicious already.
Oh, it's awesome. It's very dangerous as well. And then next to that is one of our specials today. We have a lot of daily specials. We decided to go 100% Polish today. We have our own rendition of gołąbkis, which are basically Polish cabbage rolls with a meat chili sauce. Next to that is our kopyka. This is on our winter menu. It's basically Polish dumplings, kind of reminiscent of gnocchis, potato, flour, egg, handmade, blanched, and then refried, I should say, with a bunch of fennel, confit fennel, pickled fennel butter sauce. We have our classic wings. This is one of our most popular menu items.
So as we were waiting to come out here, a guy walked in, a regular customer. He said, I got to have the wings. Had those last time. Got to have those. Those were amazing.
Yeah, they're fun.
Okay.
We smoke them. We get the wings from a good source, and then we smoke them first to kind of render some of the fat, get the skin nice and crisp, get a little flavor in there, and then we deep fry it again, and then we sauce them. It's our own sauce that we make in-house, rice vinegar based. And then what's the other shit? I forgot. Oh, the poutine. The poutine.
Oh, the poutine.
Hand-cut fries. We make the kimchi that we make in-house. We save the juice, and we make a gravy out of it. And then we top it with more crumbled queso, some pickled red onions to cut through some of the richness, and some scallions and all that shit.
Mike, is your mouth watering?
He's had the food plenty of times.
I've had it,
awesome.
but I'm still
And then
can we open the fruit already?
the curds are white cheddar, Wisconsin white cheddar cheese curds. I don't know where you want to start. This is like
I guess we'll start with the wings. So I'm going to hold this up for people watching on Facebook Live. These are...
Those are the wings.
And we got pierogi.
Those are what actual wings should look like. They're not jumbo size because...
Oh, the smell.
They're not full of steroids. And it's not fucking weird. Yeah, I've smelled it so many times. I'm
my
fucking
goodness.
numb to this shit.
All right, so I'm going to grab one.
Yeah, please do.
Mike?
Certainly. Thank you.
And then this is the poutine.
Everyone grabs a fork for that?
Kopyka. Yeah. So if you need forks, we got forks right
So
here.
this is fennel on top?
No, that is just scallions.
Just scallions,
and
okay.
sesame seeds. And the sauce is sesame seed oil, some fresh ginger, fresh garlic, some rice vinegar, honey.
Wings sometimes are like
Yeah.
just like a hot blast, and these are really nice. There's a lot going on here. They got heat, but it's mellowed out with different flavors.
Yeah, we don't want to blow anyone's palate out, Like I've gone to some place, unless like that's what we're known for, Like if you go to like a Szechuan peppercorn heavy place, like what
Right.
to expect, With us, like we want to make sure we're palatable to a lot of tastes and a lot of walks of life. Especially, we want to serve the community, and they're used to kind of meat heavy, centric things. So we want to make sure we adhere to some of those rules, and make sure we can be palatable to everyone.
And that was one of my questions too. I mean, a place like this feels like it might be more at home near Wrigley Field as opposed to Sox Park.
That's funny because I actually live by Wrigley Field. I was born a North Sider, and it's doesn't matter what part of the city you're in. Honestly, it's just this is food that's simple. We just try to make it better. I guess I mean. We all have good backgrounds as far as our training goes with food.
Can I have you hand me in
Oh
there?
yeah, of course. And we still wanna
Thank you.
abide by the rules of good food. Make everything from scratch, source as locally as possible. Try to get good organic wings. Make sure a protein source is good. Things of that nature, and still be affordable to the neighborhood. I think a lot of times a lot of restaurants get not faulted, but they get blamed for higher prices. But it's like what a lot of people don't realize is that we gotta pay the farmers, we gotta pay the local guys, we gotta pay all these guys, for their services and stuff. So we're trying to be that crossroad.
I think that's what's really one of the things that's so great about Chicago dining right now, though, is you've got guys who are concerned with all those things, and they're still making $12 things.
Right.
It's not, maybe it's a couple bucks more than it would be, to get wings at whatever bar that takes them frozen out of a bag. But it's really good food that is at a, very reasonable, I have that and some beer kind of price. And the amount of care that goes in that stuff, that's if I do this book for any reason, that's why. It's because I love those kind of places, and we've got them all over the city. And that's just, it's a beautiful thing.
So this is what we call a reset in radio. If you're just joining us on Facebook Live, that's Mike Gebert in the back seat. He is the creator, editor, and man behind the Fooditor website and the Fooditor 99, the annual review of Chicago restaurants. That right there is Chef Juan from Kimski.
Oh, hey.
We're eating his food. And Mike said it. We're eating the wings. He said it beautifully. Wings sometimes are just hot for their own sake, and that's just your takeaway. My first bite of that wing, holy shit, there was just so much going on.
I made you swear. That's great.
Yeah.
I did my job.
Just, it was complex. And there were flavors I didn't instantly recognize in there, too.
Well, that's great. I mean, honestly, like this is my upbringing in that sauce. And I remember I asked my mom how to make, the classic, you know what wings I'm talking about? I actually don't know how to say it in Korean, but it's like the Korean style wings. They're very sticky, heavy on the sweetness. And growing up, I hated the sticky. I just don't like sticky anything. So I try to incorporate some of those flavors, but have my own twist on it. So it's not like every other Korean restaurant wings. You know what I mean? I think part of the smoking, that kind of speaks to that.
Well, that flavor comes out instantly, too.
Yeah, good.
That smoky taste.
Good.
That's delicious. So, Mike, you're in the back seat. You're kind of at a deficit. As you need stuff, ask for it, and we'll send it back.
Yeah, open some more of this food.
Yeah.
Sorry, let's try the kopeka.
Okay.
So these are dumplings. We use double O flour. We use chipperback potatoes. We make our own fennel stock to cook right on the line so that we can make the sauce. We use cold butter. Again, it's like our French method of adding cold cubes of butter to make a emulsified sauce while in the pan cooking. And then we top it with some pickled fennel again to kind of cut through some of the richness. But this is like a homey dish. This is another Polish dish that's common in a lot of the buffets and like some of the grocery stores you might go to.
I'm trying to soak up all the butter I can.
The more the merrier, honestly. And again, these are principles that are applied in all cooking. You got to have an acid to go balance the fat. You got to have richness for saltiness, fatties, things like that. This is all things we think about, not just blowing out a palate or making sure something tastes 100% Korean or 100% Polish. We're neither. You know what I mean? We kind of create our own genre of food, and it's not because we're trying to like change the food landscape. It's just this is the challenge that was posed to me, and I thought it'd be fun to do it, and somehow it works. And
well, I want to talk about that a little bit because I think that's one of the things that's really cool on the scene is we have a lot of second generation people who are second generation in the restaurant business, or at least second generation in America. So they grew up eating the food that their parents had, but they also grew up exposed to American pop culture. And they don't want to open, I think of like the Chinese place with the Zodiac menus, They don't want to open that place. They want to open a place that's more like American places. So
you know why? Because we'll never be able to get as good as those Chinese Zodiac places. Like we've eaten there I've been eating at those places all my life, and I know I can't make food like that. Even if I wanted to,
I still remember as a kid growing up in Rogers Park, our big adventure as a family was going for Chinese food at Beacon House.
Beacon House, I was just going to say.
Devon Avenue,
it's gotta
east
be
of Western Avenue. That was our thing. Zodiac menus, the
What
tea.
grammar school did you go to?
Stone School.
Oh, sure. I went to Clinton and Boone.
Okay.
Those are my schools. I grew up off of Devon.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my big thrill. And that's what I think of when I think of those Zodiac menu restaurants is Beacon House from back in the day.
I love that place. Oh, so real quick. So this is the standard. This is what set it all off. This is the Polish sausage. We use pork shoulder in our recipe.
Here we go.
And the kraut is red cabbage that we make with co-op, sauce and bread up north, and we use a koji starter to speed up the fermentation on it.
My goodness, is there a knife in there?
I think there is.
Yeah, I just take a bite. We're all friends. Actually, there is a knife.
I want to be respectful.
Yeah. So we change our menus up. We add a few things, take off a few things, depending on the season. We had cold noodles on the menu in the summer. We had rice cakes, which is like commonly referred to as duck, which is awesome. But we just try to have fun with the food. Honestly, our daily specials, we just kind of flex our culinary muscle and just kind of do whatever the fuck we want.
As you should.
Yeah, as we should. And then we started doing our 4-top thing.
Tom Brooks says, I have dumpling envy. You're not wrong, Tom. Mike, do you need napkins?
I'm good.
Okay.
I grabbed my
You're not wrong. All right, let me grab some Polish. On paper, Kimski sounds like it shouldn't work.
On paper, yeah.
In
you're right.
person, oh my goodness.
It's all the elements of a lot of immigrant cooking. It's salt, it's fat, and it's preservation, right? I mean, cabbages is salted cabbage and room temperature is used everywhere. Dumplings, anything to make flour go the distance is used in every culture. It's all about feeding the masses with little bits.
Well, I remember when you were first opening it. You said that it's based on the fact that Poles and Koreans have a shared love for dumpling wrappers and pork. So
Pretty much.
and
That's reflected in everything we do.
right.
I mean,
and then you had kimchi from one and sauerkraut from the other.
Yep.
I mean, there's
That makes sense.
fundamentally not
pierogies
really.
from one, mandu in the other.
Yeah.
Samgyeopsal, pork belly. Just I went to a Polish restaurant on the south side that's not there anymore called Salza. Sesla. It was like a wood door, but they had pork fat as butter. As a spread.
Yeah.
Do you remember that place?
Smalek, I think it's called.
Yeah,
That's a
it was
pro
fucking
move.
awesome, and I'm like, that's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes, I took my kids there and we squeezed into like
Nice.
a
I got
Santa Claus sleigh. and ate in that.
Can we just talk about that sausage for one
Oh,
more
yeah,
second?
Sure. I just wanted to show off the Vanna White, the
Yeah,
cookies.
I appreciate
All right.
that. That was delicious. I could
Good,
eat
I'm
that
glad
every
you liked
day.
it.
That's just,
Please don't. You'll die.
I will die. That's a concern. That is,
Yeah.
Mike, what do you think of that?
Oh, I love
Work in progress. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What's that?
So, actually, try the poutine first.
Oh, yes.
So
this is the first thing. When I walked in there, Chef Juan said, well, what do you guys want? I'm like, poutine.
Yeah. So, when we, that came about because I actually did Poutine Fest right before we opened. And a lot of people were like, is this going to be in the menu when you guys
Poutine
open?
Fest is a thing?
Yeah, it's a thing. It was a thing. It was at the Chop Shop. And people kept asking me, like, are you going to have this on your menu? It's really good. I'm like, no, because it's Canadian. It has nothing to do with fucking Korea or Poland. Like, no. And then one of my friends was like, dude, you got to put this on the menu. Like, I know it has nothing to do with either cultures, but, you can make it sort of work that way. And I'm like, yeah, well, we could use kimchi. Potatoes are used in Poland. A lot of potatoes are consumed. Onions, we could make it our own thing and make it work. Maybe this will be like the wild card on the menu. And we kind of reinterpreted our own version of the poutine and just kind of ran with it. And it's been one of our most popular menu items on
James
since we opened.
seems to have had a religious experience.
I'm sorry,
here.
Mike. You get none of this. Wow.
It's fun, right? I mean,
And I like the heat.
yeah.
It's enough to make
That
my
definitely
eyes
has-
water,
yeah,
but
yeah. So again, the heat is balanced by the richness of the cheese.
Well, the
you know what I
cheese,
mean?
yes.
So it all works. It's all relative,
yeah, that's good drunk food too.
Oh,
Let's be-
absolutely. Yeah. There's a really good beer bar attached to us, so that's part of us. So we gotta make sure our customers are well fed. I also want to note that going off all this stuff, having been open for 2.5 years, now we have some wiggle room to do fun things. We started doing this thing called impromptu four-top dinner. That one table that we have was a joke table. We didn't think anyone would sit there. So we do this impromptu thing where we cook on the fly, where I kind of put an Instagram message out there and people give me their ingredients, and I shop the day of and the day before, and we do a 5-course menu based off the people's ingredients.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
You are your
Really
own
fun.
one-man Food Network challenge.
Yeah. I was on Food Network before too.
Were you really?
Were you?
Yes. That's the only way I know how to cook. I only know how to cook when there's a lot of pressure on me. Like, it's really weird.
Tell me about that. What were you on?
I was on Cutthroat Kitchen 3 times, and then I was on some really shitty show with Ann Burrell called Chef Wanted. That was a stupid fucking train wreck. And fuck her too.
Wait, do we hold those up?
Yeah.
So these are the cabbage rolls?
Yeah. So that's the classic. That's another classic Polish dish, but it's again reinterpreted in our own way. We used just all beef this time. And we included not long grain rice, but like traditional Korean rice, like sushi medium grain rice, in the mix. And then we kind of had some Coney Island chili left over. So we kind of just
Get
added
out.
a bunch of shit
Oh,
to it,
man.
made our own beef chili sauce
Get
with
out.
it. So
That's
again-
what makes it.
See, that's what's
That's
fun,
got
though.
like
Yeah.
Diner 2 a.m. written
Yeah,
all over
exactly.
it. And that's really good.
But it's fun, and it's we got the beef from Slagle, I get that same email that all the other fucking chefs get. So we pay the price, but I want to make sure that the community eats well and that they eat ingredients that can be traceable. So,
that. The interesting thing about the cabbage roll, it's filled with meat, but the cabbage makes it feel like it's light and not doing something sinful.
It's health food.
So evil. It's so evil. It's
my brain doesn't know how to process what I'm eating right now.
Because it is eating vegetable, technically.
Mm-hmm.
It's just soaked in beef fat now. But anywhere you go out to eat, it's gonna be a little unhealthy, and you know what I mean. Like that's the joy of eating out, right?
It really is.
That's why books like this exist.
Like the Fooditor 99,
so much fun.
Now available on Amazon.
Now
Correct.
available on Amazon.
And at many fine independent bookstores, maybe.
Yeah. I actually bought my copies off of Amazon, so
Yeah.
it works. They're dangerous.
But yeah, Roscoe Books has it. Sparrow Coffee has it out in Naperville for people out there.
Love it.
Other bookstores, I
Does it
hope.
come with a fedora?
Yeah, really.
I'm crying still from the food.
Sorry.
Every dish you brought out just has this complex range of flavors, and they're interesting, and it's left on my lips and tongue.
Good.
Oh my goodness!
I want to be nostalgic for people too. I want like the home part out. That's where I learned. Initially, it was my mom. So if it has that kind of feel, then I did my job.
Well, the thing about any of these dishes, like I have it, and I think, well, I got to come back and see what else is on the menu.
Yeah,
Because it's just
good.
it's interesting enough and different enough and vibrant enough that I want to keep digging into that menu.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you.
This is Mike's recommendation from Fooditor. This is a slam dunk.
Thanks, Mike.
I love this food.
Yeah, no, me too. I mean, I love that it represents what I think is so cool about the food scene right now in Chicago. This kind of fusion, this kind of second generation, mixing it with, sort of pop culture references. Another thing too was, it's interesting. I mean, I redo a certain amount of the book every year. And this is one, when I first wrote about it, I think you had like 4 things on the menu or something. And
We're terrified.
so I knew I was going to have to come back because there'd be like 8 more things by this year. So I did that.
Awesome. Well, thank you. See, that's what a real journalist does.
Right.
That's exactly right. It's funny. A friend of mine, a new friend, just moved to Chicago, lived in Michigan and Washington forever. He said, I want to get to know Chicago better. For someone who's visiting, never been here before, I know it's not taking them to see the Bean or Navy Pier. And I said,
Oh, it's Cloudgate. Sorry.
yeah, forgive me.
I gotta correct you.
I said, well, you can't do much better than just touring restaurants. And like Chicago is all about the neighborhoods. And this
Absolutely.
is this cool place in Bridgeport that really only locals would know about. I mean, it's...
and it's funny because most of our business comes from visitors.
Really?
Yeah. We, as much as we want to be for the community, I think a lot of people are kind of set in their ways here. And a lot of people go to the $5 pork chop sandwiches, and it's like I can't beat
hang on,
that.
that's a thing?
Oh yeah, I can't beat that price point. That's amazing. I want to get fucking 5 pork chop sandwiches for $5. Like that's an amazing deal. I can't beat that, and it's fine. Again, whether they come around now or 3 months from now, or whether I give it away for free, we're here for them.
Yeah.
And it is fun to see all the people come in and just the wonderment. There's like, oh, we're in Bridgeport. Oh shit. It's like, hey, you're only 4 miles away from your house in the West Loop. It's not that fucking exotic. Yeah. We have electricity here too, dick.
I picture people rolling through here like maybe from Naperville who bought Fooditor in Naperville.
Clue.
Who treat it like National Lampoon's Vacation going through East St. Louis. Roll them up.
The best question I get is, how does this work? I'm like, well, I take your money, you eat, and you get the fuck out. Like any other fucking restaurant. What do you mean, how does this work?
Now, are you more conspicuously patient with people when this happens in real life?
Not.
Okay.
I don't give a shit. I'm so tired of dealing with people. That's why I hired other people that are prettier and way more tolerant.
So back of house is maybe a better place for you.
Yeah, and it's funny because the back house is right where the front house is.
Again, interesting layout to the place.
Yeah.
It almost has like speakeasy vibe. Like you got to pass
that's part of the appeal. I feel like that's what makes it fun too. Is there's like this fucking curmudgeon that's like, oh, don't ask me stupid shit about the menu. What do you mean? What's good on here? Everything's good. Ugh. And then like you go into the back and you see this expansive, modern, like just open canvas for beer and solid, amazing cocktails.
You have like 50 beers.
Yeah, it's insane.
Really impressive, and it looks like people come here just to drink.
They most definitely do. They literally just come just to
We
drink.
are on the south side, Jim.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And, we have all walks of life here, which is the beauty of it. And we have all price points. We have random shitty beer. We have random shitty shots. We have $8, barrel-aged, shit that, monkeys drink to, like, fucking, alpaca urine fucking barrel-aged, Berliner Weisses.
I did see that you carry 350 brewing beer, a former guest on the show, 350 out in
350 is
Tinley
awesome.
Park. Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, we have all kinds of beer. We definitely, we're all about, again, just all walks of life. We just want people to have a good time, honestly. Despite my persona at the restaurant, like, I really do just want you to have a good time. Just don't ask stupid, tired questions. Be an adult.
Honestly, eating the food is the good time. That's it.
Perfect.
This is
just
it.
don't ask me about it.
All right, so I want to keep the conversation going. So what we're going to do, we're going to pause the Facebook Live, and we're going to go deep into Fooditor 99, Car con Carne, presented by the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. Again, this Saturday, if you're watching on Facebook Live, come join me, 2 p.m., recording on the floor. This is so meta. We're recording in a car inside the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston.
No! Sorry.
It's going to be amazing. So again, to recap, Kimski, this food is tremendous. I'm anxious to turn the camera off so we can really make fools of ourselves.
Really get dirty with it.
Get face down in it.
The reason why I'm even aware of Kimski, although I probably should have been already, is that man in the back seat, Mike Gebert, editor of the Fooditor 99. He puts this out every year. He does this himself. This is a fantastic volume of work, and it is work. There's a lot of stuff that goes into this. It really is an indispensable
I just
reference
neglect
guide.
my kids for like the month of October.
Exactly.
Oh, it's fine. It's for the greater public.
That's really, I mean, food writing's hard to do. I've said this for years. Mike's truly one of the best, and he just knows so much about not just the food that goes on the plates, but the workings of the scene, the trends, everything going on. I can't recommend Fooditor enough. So Amazon.com for that. That's Mike Gebert. Chef Juan, your food's amazing.
Thank you.
The whole podcast will be on Car con Carne next week after the Christmas holiday. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening. All right, let's talk about Fooditor.
Fooditor,
Here we go. I even brought notes.
greatest publication in the history of Chicago.
It's
Suck
definitely
on
the
it.
most informative,
Suck on it,
honestly.
Ernest Hemingway and Saul Bellow.
That's right.
Definitely the most informative, in my opinion.
It's great. And I probably should have said this at the onset of the podcast, Mike. Mike Gebert is the editor and publisher of Fooditor. He is a James Beard Foundation Award nominee and winner, and a, quote, frequent radio podcast guest. And here we are.
I did a commercial once because I worked in advertising too, and at one point I managed to get on screen a thing that said "as seen on TV." So while you're watching it on TV, it says "as seen on TV."
Amazing. All right, so you say it in the book. Years from now, at least 30 or 40 of these reviews will probably be the same.
Yeah, I mean the restaurants age in different ways. I mean, there are some I definitely want to come back year after year, especially when they're new. And I feel like year 2 for a place is going to be more interesting, and they'll have their feet under them than year 1. Mm-hmm. Then there are other places you can not go for 10 years, and they're not going to change. I don't know. I think Kimski is somewhere in between. I definitely wanted to see the menu expand, as I was pretty sure it would. But I wouldn't say the character of it has changed very much. I think it's just more of what it was. So that's good. Better to be more of what you were than less.
Well, let's talk about the new. Let's talk about trends. You mentioned next generation cooks and owners. The one thing that kept popping up to me as I read through the new edition, charcuterie.
Yeah.
I thought we were past charcuterie.
I don't know. I mean, I think it just kind of like became part of the background radar, maybe. Mm-hmm. I mean, offhand, I don't know who has charcuterie. Some of them are places that have had it for several years. Table Donkey and Stick has it, or whoever. I'd have to look through and see. I don't remember typing that a lot, but
it
I
popped out
believe
to
you.
me. Well, let's talk about Oriole. For those of us who don't go out to a lot of fine dining places, this is it
That's
for you.
my favorite tasting menu in the city.
It is.
Okay.
It's wonderful.
For those of us who eat more fries and poutine than fine dining food,
Take your wife this year, man. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. This is the 3rd edition. The first 2, I really wanted to not put. I mean, Oriole has 2 Michelin stars. It's a couple $100 per person to eat there, and I didn't want that kind of place to be number 1 because first of all, because everyone does that. I mean, if anybody makes a list of the best restaurants in the city, I guarantee you, 1 Alinea, 2 Oriole. But beyond that, I wanted to just kind of make a point about creativity for $30 to me matters more than, a really fine experience for $200. Lots of people can tell you where to get that. Michelin will tell you where to get it. Mobile Guide will tell you where to get that. Articles in airline magazines will tell you where to get that. So the first year I did fat rice as number 1, which, fantastic sort of weird Asian fusion, Chinese from another galaxy kind of place, and pretty reasonably priced. The next year I did Monteverde, which is an Italian restaurant, but with some southern twinge to it, and just a very, very individual, personal example of an Italian restaurant. Again, not that expensive. Sarah Grunberg, who runs it, used to work at Spiaggia, where it was like $200 for dinner, and now it's $60 for dinner at her place. So, the first couple of years, I stress kind of mid-priced places. This year, I just thought, screw it. It's time to just recognize that Oriole, as expensive as it is, it's just really a beautiful experience. They're so nice. It's very soothing. I compared it like a Japanese ryokan, which is like one of those Japanese inns where everything is very well balanced and calm and soothing and all of that. And it is just kind of like that. And it's one of those things. Get your extra money together. Say whatever. Take in that change jar and just go do that once a year. That's part of the experience here. But at the same time, that's really not the emphasis of the Fooditor 99. I stress it all over the place, and even in like the top 10, which does kind of skew toward fine dining a bit, it's still, a lot of them are pretty reasonably priced.
Well, with that said, sorry to interrupt, but I kind of feel like that's part of what makes a publication like this great, is that some people will ask and be like, well, what's some of the fancier places that, that's out there that's great, and you got to have that range and be, just because they're the top 10 or whatever, doesn't change the fact that people are still going to want to know about them and know what's
exactly
out there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's important to have that well-roundedness of, like, what are the fine dining places that people are talking about? What are and on the other end of it, what's like the mom and pop shop that I want to go try?
And that's most of
with
the
the same
book.
Principles of food.
Yeah, that's most of the book. But that's really, it's always, just a place that tries a little harder, does something a little more interesting, and it's all relative to that price. The place in Chinatown where $10 spent is better than $10 somewhere else is, that's as good as being the fine dining place where $200 spent is better than somewhere else.
Sure, and you said it, Chef. I may not go to Oriole. It sounds great, but maybe that's just, in my current situation, maybe that's a bit of a stretch. I just like knowing about it. That's part of our cultural identity, is that awareness. I like knowing what the places to go are. So when that person comes from out of town and says, "Hey, you're a local. What's the best fine dining place?" Oh, well, I saw it in Fooditor, and Chef Juan said,
I'm never going to go to Australia, but I want to know that it's there. I want to see what's out there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, like today, I was getting around a truck, and then I saw those awful lights go off, and I'm pretty sure I got a ticket today.
Oh.
And, it's the kind of thing where it's like, we put up with so much living in the city. Oh, yeah, I paid $1 million for a crappy little wooden house that's, about the same size as its garage and stuff like that. And, you put up with a lot to live here. So you might as well take advantage of the great stuff. I
totally agree.
Go eat the interesting immigrant food. Go see the CSO or Venia. Lawn seats are $10. Go. See a Bulls game. Whatever it is, benefit from living in the big city, because otherwise
Totally agree.
you should just move to Sheboygan, Wisconsin, and you'll have a great big house for the same money.
Yeah, what's the point of living in a city this large and not taking advantage of its resources or staying within your own like bubble. Like that's just that's so fucking boring.
Agreed.
Like whenever I went to New York pre 9/11, or like heard about people that lived there, they're always like, "Oh, Brooklyn, that's so far." I'm like, that's just a fucking bridge. It's so close. Like you're excommunicating a whole region that's within walking distance almost, just because you don't, because you're lazy.
That's
and
it.
Unadventurous. You know what I mean?
That's it.
It's really weird. And that's how this city is. Like people in Logan Square, like the realtors, the developers came in and created this weird safe haven within their own neighborhoods. And it's like, well, why do you need to go anywhere? Look, you have a dry cleaner, you have a restaurant, you have a cool bar, all in one strip. They're trying to turn this whole place into a suburb, which is why I love Bridgeport as it is right now. We don't have a lot of that. You don't see a lot of new development here. But, it's unfortunate. It'll probably happen. It's on its way. But for now, it has its own character. It's like, it's the closest thing to old Chicago growing up here that I have.
All right, so I want to tell you a story about the first time I came to Kimski. For some reason, explain this, I don't know. I decided it would be good to take the Ashland bus and have to walk.
Why?
Have to walk half a mile from there and spend like 45 minutes, getting here and all that.
Yeah.
So I'm walking through the neighborhood, and I pass this one house, and there's like, all of a sudden the smell, I think she was like frying tripe or something like that. It was like this.
That is a distinct smell, my friend.
Deep, funky,
That's
hills
intestinal.
of Sicily kind of, Italian food smell coming out of there.
Guttural, I'd say.
Yeah. And it's like, it's a little scary, but at the same time I'm like, oh my God, there's like a whole Sicilian village in this lady's basement, in her kitchen. And I will never know it. This is as close as I'm going to get to it. But it's just good to know that it's there.
Absolutely.
That the city of Chicago has this.
When you said it, Chef, people just need to get out. I'm a White Sox fan. I love going to see games here. And the pushback I always get from my friends is, getting there is such a pain in the ass. In reality, even if you live on the north side, getting to Sox Park is actually easier. It's right off the expressway.
So close.
And there's
just
parking.
as easy as Wrigley.
I think it's way easier.
Yeah.
If you're in a car,
it's much closer.
Yeah.
and you can park.
Right.
But it's just that perception. Anything south of Congress Parkway.
But who's responsible for that, right? I mean, who's been telling these people that, like, you don't want to go past Roosevelt?
Exactly.
Right. I was called Roosevelt the Berlin Wall.
Yeah.
Because you didn't dare go.
Right?
And
That's hilarious.
you know, it's just crazy, and it's one of the things that's so great that these areas are. I mean, there are places I would go to Johnny O's down the street and get a mother-in-law or
That fucking pizza puff over there is
breaded
fantastic.
steak sandwich or whatever.
Love
But it's
a breaded
a
steak
kind of
sandwich.
scary place. You know, it's the kind of place where, you know, probably a couple of times somebody's tried to rob it, and the guy has just pulled out his shotgun and gunned them down or something.
But at the same time, Southsiders are just as guilty, though, because I know a lot of Bridgeporters won't go up north.
Yeah.
And if I have an event up north or something, and I'm like, hey, I need some of you guys to come and support, you know, whatever, just, you know, show them what's up. They'll just kind of be like, I don't know, man. That's like what, 6 whole miles? I commute 10 and a half every day, dickhole. Like, just fucking get on the bus. Are you over 25? You are.
Right.
What the fuck is your problem?
This is a Car Con Carne first. I believe that was the first time dickhole was used on the podcast. So
Ding, 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 ding.
You're welcome.
And now a bonus round.
yeah,
welcome.
show Chef what he won. All right, so jumping back into Fooditor, talking about some of the repeat visits. How many times? I'm assuming you had to go out to eat at least 99 times in 2018.
Well, some things I carry over, and again, it's like, how often do you have to change it? Some places I feel fine about a review that I wrote 3 years ago. I know that they're stable. I mean, I said in somewhere, I said, you know, it's like Manny's. You could not go to Manny's for 10 years, and Manny's would be Manny's.
That's
the
a
day
great
you went
example.
back.
Yeah.
You know, but generally 2-3 years I check them out again. You know, I go to a lot of places that just don't make it. And it's really sad. November is kind of depressing for my family because I'll be like, there's this place that just opened and it might be great. Oh, it's not great at all. So, you know, we go through a certain amount of that. But this year, I mean, I was adding them real close to the end. I mean, it's always something close to the end, and I just have to cut it off. But, like, there's this place on the north side called Phenom Coffee. that for some reason is a coffee house / Hungarian restaurant, and the guys aren't even Hungarian; they're like Puerto Rican. So I don't understand this place, but it's totally charming, and it's like great. I mean, we don't have Hungarian food anyway for some reason, so it's got food that no one else has. It's like sweet. It's got like used books that you can buy for a buck off of them. It's in a historical building that just
used to
barely
be a rub and tug place, by the way.
Yeah.
Where is this?
It used to be called Latin Touch.
It's on Irving, just past like the first building not torn down for the Kennedy there.
Yeah.
And they left the words, massage room number 2 on
Latin
one of the doors.
No
or something.
way.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Also has a wall painted by someone sitting next to you.
Because you're a graffiti artist.
God, I forgot that. Yeah. Well, you're all over the place. You're in Taco Bell for crying out loud.
I should die.
Yeah, you're a busy dude. Staying on the repeat restaurants real quick. 5 Loaves in Greater Grand Crossing. I don't know this place. Nicest restaurant in that area?
As I attempt to talk through poutine here. It's kind of a soul food place, but in Chicago, soul food usually seems to mean a cafeteria. And they're not a cafeteria. They make stuff fresh. But they're just these, it's run by this sweet lady, and it was her sister, although the sister's now gone on to do something else. Whatever kids from the neighborhood that she's like a second mom to, and they're just all so nice, and they have like good food that just makes you happy. And you go in there on Saturday or Sunday, and it's full of church ladies in their, fancy dress.
I love that.
What so many of these places are about is it's not just that there's the food there, but you get a whole sense of other people's lives.
Yeah.
You're just walking in. You're walking into their movie basically, and it's going on all around you, and that's great. And I interviewed her, and she say, yeah, and they always want to give me a hug. It's like, all I do is hug people all day. I'm like, well, honestly, I can see why. It's like, if I was depressed, I would drive here and get a hug.
And for the record, Chef Juan, not hugging anybody.
Yeah, I'm not
anytime soon.
I'm not.
Just my girlfriend.
No one wants a hug from you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And let me give you poutine back because I want it to go away. Thank you.
When you talk about restaurants that will be consistent 1 year, 2 year, 3 years from now, is Duck Inn in that category?
Yeah. I mean, and there's a guy, grew up on Bridgeport. Duck Inn is in a building that he used to, when he was like 10, his dad would send him over to get cigarettes and beer for him from this place, and then if he stayed too long and played, asteroids on the machine, the dad would call up and say, "Where's my goddamn kid?"
More importantly, where are my cigarettes?
Yeah, where are my cigarettes? But yeah, I mean, and so he took over this place, and he's a chef who worked in fancy places all around the world. He worked for Four Seasons and whichever other big hotel chain is attached to the Four Seasons, I forget. But then he just wanted to open a place in his neighborhood, and similar to this, I mean, he actually gets sausage made at the same place you do, McKeskey. And it's just, it's like fat guy happy food. It's probably the best way.
And she's honestly one of the nicest people.
Yeah.
Chef Hickey is super down to earth and nice. And he's just one of those, another neighbor person that just wants people to honestly just have a good time and eat good food. I mean, it's really just as simple as that sometimes,
So let's talk about some of the new restaurants. And I'll just have you kind of riff quickly on some of the things that caught my eye. And you could talk about stuff that you think is worth noting, too. Smack Dab, which is, I used to live at 6742 North Lakewood in Rogers Park. I wish this existed when I was over there.
Yeah, it's in a strip mall that you probably mainly noticed for having a McDonald's on Clark Street. And it's just the most adorably woke cafe. Everything is gender neutral and flower powery and all
Did
that.
you say woke?
He did. I was going to call him on it, and I'm like, that's not cool of me.
You're so young.
Is it fire?
Is it what?
Is it fire? Is it
Is
lit?
it lit, fam?
Yeah.
Is it lit AF?
Is it lit, fambo?
I can see my son making fun of me now. So anyway, I mean, it's just cute. It's up near University. It feels very much like something you'd see in a college town.
Yeah.
Again, another life that you can go walk into for 45 minutes and experience, and just get a little piece of that.
The Tempesta Market in Westtown.
Ah, yeah. These guys are great. So,
That place is
again,
so
a
fucking
second
good.
generation guy. His parents have a long-time Italian restaurant on the west side, Ristorante Agostino. And he went to work for places like Public and Quality Meats and so on, and decided to make first Andouille, which is, this is kind of weird, a spreadable Sicilian salami. Now, spreadable and salami don't sound like they go together, but it's kind of soft like butter. That would be due to its incredibly high fat content. And it's full of Calabrian chili, so it's bright orange and spicy as heck. And
That sounds amazing.
so he started
so
making
good.
that, and there's just like, you go in there and there's just like a big blob of it sitting on the counter that you could go, stab and take a piece of. But so he now makes, I don't know, like 20, 30 kinds of sausage, brings in other salami from salumi, as they say now, from other people in the area. And really, it's kind of like he opened a restaurant to be his demo place for when he brings in chefs to who might want him to make something for them. So but you can go there and have a sandwich of it. And you're getting a great deal when you get one, because if you charge someone else wholesale and they put it on a sandwich, it'd be like a $30 sandwich. But he just piles it on, and they're so good. I mean, they're not just sandwiches, they're kind of conceived like dishes. There's a balance to how things are put together.
That eggplant is magical.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That's
I don't know why you'd be eating a vegetable in there,
Jesus.
but you can. And
It's so good.
Yeah, this was one of the reviews in the new Fooditor that jumped out at me, and I thought, oh, this is a place I need to know.
That place is magical. Yeah. That man knows how to fucking touch sausages.
You mentioned an Indian place that is not actually on Devon Avenue, not far from Devon Avenue, technically, Mango Pickle. I've driven by there a million times, and I just didn't think about it until I read Fooditor.
Yeah, it's again, it's sort of like something you'd see in a college town. It's got that sort of just relaxed, slightly hip but not too expensive feel. And then also, I mean, the cook is not actually Indian, her husband is. So it's got a little bit of
This is
that.
a trend.
Yeah. Well, it's got a little bit of that thing that you see in college towns a lot where, I'm not from this, but I read a book about it once. And sometimes that's good and sometimes it's pretty bad. If you go in a place and it's mostly burritos, but then they have like one Indonesian stir fry, don't get the Indonesian stir fry. He doesn't know what he's doing. So this has a little bit of flavor, and it sounds like I'm slamming it, but it pulls it off pretty well. And it's just something different. I mean, Devon is a little monotonous sometimes, more than a little maybe. I mean, the most interesting Indian places right now, the real action is out in Schaumburg and places like that.
Is that real?
Because a lot of, because Indians are all doctors, in case you haven't noticed.
And they all moved in that
And they all
area.
moved to
But
Schaumburg.
I think of chain restaurants when I think of Schaumburg, but I guess
This is the other universe out there. Well, that's actually one of the things I really like about the suburbs is there's usually the alternative universe right there. I mean, like if you're out in the western suburbs, you drive on Butterfield Road, it's every chain known to man. And yet there's great Chinese food out there. You just have to get off Butterfield Road and go hunt it up.
There's good Korean restaurants all over the suburbs.
Yeah, Niles and
Northbrook,
Morton Grove.
Glenview.
I believe Niles and Morton Grove, because I went to grade school and middle school and high school in Skokie, and huge Korean population.
Yeah.
And I think that population still is there.
They want to eat flavors of home. So what do they do? Like someone's going to open a restaurant and be that guide for them. Same with Indian food, and same with a lot of Polish food even.
Yeah.
Well, let's stay on new restaurants from Fooditor 99 for another moment or two. What were some things that were new to you, Mike, this year that you thought, oh, wow, I'm so excited to put this in print?
I mean, again, a lot of these second generation places, I love that, they're doing this mix of flavors. In some ways, it makes it more accessible to people. There's a really good example of that with Korean, kind of mid-scale restaurant called Passerotto, which is an Italian name.
Every time you mention a restaurant, Chef Juan is like
I've
excited.
eaten there.
Yeah,
I love those places. They're all really good.
So she calls it a Italian Korean restaurant, but it's not like Copo here. It's not the same way. It's more just kind of an Italian spirit of, we're just gonna all come together and have this big, warm, accessible meal that anybody, Italian or not, can have. And the easiest to understand example, you mentioned like tteokbokki earlier, which is sort of spongy rice cakes, and she uses them like gnocchi, but then serves them with like a lamb ragu, which is pretty Italian. And so you've got the Korean texture and the Italian flavor sort of mixing together, and that's a fantastic dish. It's rare because I want to try as many things as possible. It's very rare that I say, oh man, these are so good, we need another one of those. And we got another one of those the first time I went.
Here's the interesting thing. We ate delicious food from Kimski at the beginning of the podcast. We're still kind of nibbling at it. Should be full, but as we're having this conversation, I'm
You're like ready to go eat
Seriously, right?
5 more places.
I'm hearing these descriptions. I'm like, oh shit, I'm ready for more. The tap is on. Let this flow.
I mean, all those places you mentioned, they're really all just so good, and like they have the mindset of keeping the principles of like just good food, and that's like a lot of places, chain restaurants don't have that. They don't think about like, oh, maybe we should just make our own shit. Why are we ripping open this fucking bag when we could just we have all the stuff down the street at a grocery store even. Let's just make it,
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's one of the things that's really interesting is how fusion was a bad word. And the chefs still call it, the F word, because it meant, let's add Cajun flavors to our pasta, and then it's close to March 17th, so let's throw some corned beef in there too, and and it was just crap. And a lot of times in Asian food, what it meant was we're sugaring it up for the white people, and it's more expensive and lamer than if you went to an actual Chinese or Korean whatever
Kung Pao
restaurant.
chicken.
Yeah, baby. Although I gotta admit,
It's pretty good.
I'm never sorry when I'm somewhere that my best choice is Panda Express.
That's just like, you might as well just put some fucking Jolly Ranchers in your mouth and just like, you suck a packet of fucking soy sauce with the Jolly Ranchers. That's Panda, and just eat a spoonful of rice.
But that's the thing. I mean, it's so much as it's just they had so much sugar to it. And the good example of that is like go have pad thai in a real Thai restaurant and have it in an American restaurant, and it's just that's where you'll taste how much more sugar is in the American version.
Yeah.
So anyways,
So
but
another
now I think
discovery.
people are just doing fusion in a more interesting way. I mean, the passerato dish or whatever, those or the copo or things like that. It's like, how do we balance, a little my heritage here and a little from somewhere else?
Same like Buy & Co.
Yeah,
Another
a
new
Buy &
spot,
Co,
right?
a new Filipino-Cuban place. Again, the pork is the uniting factor between different cultures. So
Pork brings us together.
yes,
I also painted that restaurant, but no big deal.
Fooditor 99, again, available on Amazon. If you're from Chicago, if you're visiting Chicago, this is an indispensable guide. At the back of the book, the classics. The ones that you're always asked about, Mike, that you had to find a home for.
yeah. It's it just became one of those things where I kind of felt like, what can I do to encourage people to buy the new edition each time, because it doesn't completely flip over. And last time I did, like, what are my favorite neighborhood Mexican places? And this time I thought, I do get the question, well, is Johnny's Beef in there? Is Calumet Fisheries in there? It's like, no, you already know they exist. You don't need me to tell you they exist. But I went through and I thought, well, sure, I'll do that once. I'll do the classics and cover off, so Pequod's Pizza gets in there, and Vito and Nick's Pizza gets in there for a different style of pizza, and
Lem's.
what all is in there. But yeah, just kind of those classic Chicago things that you're going to have once in a while. I'm not really telling you when it's Tuesday night and you're thinking, where can I go with the family? Oh, let's drive to Calumet Fisheries at 95th and the Indiana border, and everybody will eat, we'll eat fried shrimp watching, the barges go by.
Here's my Calumet Fisheries story. I was taken there a lot as a small child by my grandparents. That was a thing. Like, we're going to drive out, we're going to get, a to-go case of whatever, fried shrimp or whatever it was, and we'd eat and watch the barges, as you describe. I remember that vividly from when I was a kid. What I didn't remember was the name of the restaurant.
Oh,
So I went for years in my head imagining that as being at Navy Pier, because that was all I could place, and it didn't didn't click for me until maybe 10 years ago. Oh, wait, I think that might have been on the south side, and I actually had to Google it. Like, I had completely, it faded from my mind. And I'm like, oh, my God, Calumet Fisheries. And then I started going back as an adult, and here we are.
You know, I had an experience like that, too, where early on, one of my first ventures way to the south side to have something, there was a Cajun restaurant down on South Ashland, so I went to it. I kind of didn't even really remember the name. I figured it was long gone. At some point, like 15 years after I went to it, I found out it had moved to Blue Island. It was Maple Tree Inn down in Blue Island.
Yeah.
But it was still there, and it was really it's like being able to visit your dead grandparents at some point, you know? That it's like, really? That memory? I could go have it again right now? That's kind of weird.
Speaking of Maple Tree Inn, last I heard there was a horrible fire.
Yeah, they burned down. They've opened in a second building, and they're rebuilding their original building as best they can. But it was a historical building, and they have like a 100-year-old bar in it and stuff like that. So some of that's just gone forever. But it is a really nice place, and it's cool. I mean, Blue Island is one of those kind of fun, blue-collar, trapped in the 1950s kind of places, except there wasn't as much Mexican food in the 1950s there. And so, I mean, that was a great, you know, I want to feel like I'm out of town, but I only have 2.5 hours. You could head down there and really kind of have an out of Chicago experience and a great meal and then come back. So,
very true. All right, so to recap, to summarize what we've learned today, Kimski is a must-visit restaurant.
Absolutely.
The food preparation, just the flavor. Stop it. The flavors, the dishes, the inventiveness. I'm a fan of it all. This was a wonderful meal.
Thank you so much.
Really
Appreciate that.
wonderful job, Chef. And the book, Fooditor 99, Mike Gebert of Fooditor. Fooditor is hard to say out loud.
Fooditor.
Fooditor. All hail Fooditor.
I am Fooditor, the giant robot.
Sounds like a He-Man villain.
Yeah.
But really, like for a lot of us who maybe in the 90s looked forward to the monthly Chicago magazine to look at the restaurant reviews, that was the only way you could discover new restaurants. This, to me, is just that experience made better, more accessible, and just more interesting. So Fooditor is the Chicago guide for restaurants. I can't recommend it enough. And we were talking before we came out, Chef, was one of your staff going to go make it a task to go to each of the 99 restaurants?
Yeah, our prep cook Margaret, who actually has a Indian husband as well, she does. She's Korean. She was one of those kind of like, I don't want to say one of those, but she was like, you know, she's a food blogger type person before, and I kind of challenged her to just be like, hey, you know why we get annoyed at a lot of those people that set up those fucking white boxes and take pictures of food on the floor and shit. I'll tell you why, because there's a lot of care, no matter what the price point is. I want to challenge you to fucking be a prep cook and just take a gander of what it takes sometimes. And then she, proud to say that she doesn't like a lot of those food bloggers anymore, doesn't follow them, but she's still very much into food, documents it in her own way, which is fantastic. She does her own pop-ups for South Indian food.
Oh, wow.
And she's an adventurer, and you know, when I bought my whole staff a copy of the book, and she is very adamant about visiting every single place or biking to most of the destinations.
What a blast!
Yeah, and that's awesome. That's what I want the book to be. I want it to be a guide, you know, like an adventure guide, sort of.
Well, that's it.
And rediscover the city.
Choose your own adventure.
Yeah. It is, and you'll never get bored. Like,
absolutely.
We got 70 restaurants to go.
Yeah, exactly.
We got to go to Pilsen tonight.
Yeah. And that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it an adventure. And then I think once you start venturing out, you realize how small the city can be.
Exactly what we were saying. Yeah. It is. Everything's accessible.
Because, no one really goes to Inglewood. So, I mean, a lot of people's city scope ends at the back of the yards, and that's only the 40s right there.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
There still goes all the way up to 130s in Beverly.
The furthest south thing in the book, there's a Middle Eastern restaurant called Al Safara Grills. It started as just like a meat counter, and they're like roasting lamb right there in the restaurant. You can tell where it is because it's the giant cloud of smoke in the parking lot. And they actually opened a much nicer restaurant, a fancier Middle Eastern restaurant. I'd have to even look up what suburb it is, but it's like on the 200s or something, way down there. And but hey, You got an hour to drive to go eat Middle Eastern food. It's well worth it. So
I'm sure it's worth it.
I love it. Mike, you do a great job. Thank you for joining me on what is now an annual podcast.
Thank you for having me annually.
Chef Juan, I hope we're now best friends.
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait to see you again.
I'm sure it's possible that could have sounded less sincere, but
Yeah, no, it's we're besties.
oh, fantastic. That's what I'm
Wait,
looking
real
for.
quick though, are you woke?
Dude, I am woke and lit AF.
And I would never have expected to hear that out of Michael Gebert's mouth, honestly. I've seen a lot of things go in there, but never would I expect woke to come out of that mouth.
Oh, the things we've seen go in Mike's mouth.
Where do we start? There should be a whole nother 99 right there.
This is
Except it'd be 199.
and so the podcast spirals downward
Sorry.
quickly.
And that's a good time to call it quits. Thank you for listening to Car Con Carne, presented by the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. Read Mike's book. Go to Chef Juan's restaurant. There we go.